What's up, peeps? Nick Battle, aka NinosCorner, man. First off, you like this content that is coming your way, hit that subscribe button. It means a ton. It means a lot. It helps the channel grow a lot. And also, folks, if you're listening to this on the podcast, whether it is Apple Play, Google Play, Stitcher Breaker, like, comment, subscribe, share the podcast. It means a ton for the channel. But today, folks, we're going to talk about a Horns Corner recap of the spring game 2023. But first off, folks, prior to us getting to that and getting to my high points for the spring game, let's go ahead and give a shout out to our sponsors. Folks, our first sponsor is going to be by betus.com. Go to betus.com, folks. Get yourself 125% sign up bonus using the promo code NinosCorner. Again, going to betus.com or just click that link in the actual description down there and it'll take you straight there, folks. But look, that's free money, 125% sign up bonus using the promo code NinosCorner at betus.com. We'll get into our second sponsor later. But folks, let's go ahead and let's get into the Horns Corner game recap, spring game 2023. And I got some notes written down, so you'll see me actually looking down just a tad. So when I'm talking about the spring game, what do we love about the spring game? I made a video about this last week, and I got a lot of flack for this video about who the most important player was for the 2023 cycle here. And I said it's going to be Malik Murphy. We've seen over the past few years amongst a lot of teams here in college football, Alabama, Texas, of course. Last year alone, Quinn Ewers missed a few games. Hudson Card stepped in and did a masterful job. Yeah, that second quarterback has to be a guy that has to be able to do great things when called upon. Hell, even Bryce Young, he was out for a game. Jalen Miller had to come and win that game against Texas A&M the same weekend that we played Oklahoma in the shootout. But Malik Murphy had one hell of a spring game. Talking to some players who actually played ball here at Texas in the 2005 years and won the championships. They were saying he's that dude. He's that dude. And Malik Murphy is that guy. I'm glad to see him do well. You can tell that that's his arm strength. That's his arm talent. He is a Sark guy. I'm turning my lights on here, folks. He is a Sark guy. You got to think. He is Sark's guy. He is Sark's guy. I mean, he was the first guy that Sark actually recruited here at Texas to play quarterback. I know Quinn was, a transfer portal guy, but Malik was the first high school guy that he really recruited to come here to Texas. That is his quarterback. So Malik Murphy had a hell of a day, had some of the best passes from any quarterback, had one that was dropped by DeAndre Moore that would have been 6, had another one caught by Jonte Cook, caught that one up the seam for a touchdown. He's going to be a great wide receiver as well. But man, he's one of the most important players. I said the most important. I might have been exaggerating there, but he is definitely one of the most important players here. Just for the simple fact that Texas is going to need to rely on that second quarterback to come and win games for them at some point throughout this season. We had to rely on that last year with Hudson Card. The previous year, Hudson Card and Casey had to battle it out. So we've always had to rely on the second quarterback to come save us. Hell, look at Alabama when they had Jalen Hurts his freshman year. He takes them to the championship game, and that second quarterback, Tua, ends up coming in and ends up winning the championship game for them. That second quarterback is a vital piece of the team, a highly important piece of the team, and it is no difference with a guy like Malik Murphy. But also why he is so important to this team, folks, is we saw Arch Manning play. Arch Manning like a freshman. Right, he played well. He had spots where he played well at. Arch has wheels. He does have wheels. He can get in. He can get in and out of the pocket with fairly ease. But Arch is still a freshman, folks. He hasn't been through a full offseason here at Texas yet. So we got to understand that Malik Murphy is going to be called upon here to play eventually. Hopefully not, because we don't want to see that happen, right? We want to see Quinn have a full season this year, play all 12 regular season games, hopefully a Big 12 championship game, and also hopefully a really good bowl game. So looking at things like that, folks, you got to understand that Malik Murphy was is really important to this team. Like I said, he is, I think, one of the most important players, if not the most important player in this team, because we do not want the opportunity for an Arch Manning to come in as a true freshman and have to win games for us here at Texas. And I say that because we have been in that predicament here at Texas for the longest. Think about last year. Quinn Ewers, yeah, he was a redshirt freshman. He was really a true freshman. Remember, he reclassified early. Having Shane Buechele had to come in and save us. Gerard Hurd as a redshirt freshman. Sam Ellinger as a freshman. Tyrone Swoops as he was a sophomore. They burned his redshirt that year, but always having to depend on freshmen. Garrett Gilbert having to come in too early when he had to come in that national championship game. And so look, he wasn't ready. He's a true fan. He wasn't ready for that game. We had a bona fide backup. Maybe that game would have turned out different. Who knows? But that's what I'm telling you guys. That backup quarterback is a vital piece of this team and a highly important piece. I think Malik Murphy stood out in this game. Looked like he was, again, looking at the competition he played against. However, he made some of the best throws that any of those quarterbacks, regardless of the competition that they were going against, made. He's a big kid too, 6'6". I think Quinn said he's really 6'7". Big kid, what, 225 or so, guys. He's one of my favorite players in the team. Love to watch him play. And I was excited to see him do well because a lot of people have been casting Malik Murphy off. But he had a really good game. Ball placement was outstanding. Arm talent there, strength there. Great player and a great play there on the field for the spring game. Next person I want to highlight, folks, is Jaden Blue. Jaden Blue made people remember why he was at once the number one running back in his class before he skipped the senior year. So last year you saw him getting his legs underneath him because he didn't play senior ball. And this year, he got to start here in the spring game because Jonathan Brooks didn't play, Keelan Robinson didn't play either. And you see what Jaden Blue does. He had one run where it was just like you saw the vision. One of the big things that I loved about him in high school was Jaden Blue's balance. His balance was outstanding, and he just stayed up coming out of Houston Klein. But man, look, Jaden Blue had a really good game. Excited to see him play. Very excited to see him play, folks. Like I said, reminded us exactly why he was the number one running back in the country before he skipped out on the senior year. But staying on the running backs, folks, Savion Red, tough as nails, man. He's one of those guys, kind of reminds you of a Rojo. And what I mean by that is whatever's best for the team. You saw he got snaps as a wide receiver last year and did, I thought, pretty good as a wide receiver as a true freshman. The team needs help at running back. They see his playing style and his running style. And seeing him come out of high school from Grand Prairie, where he played all over the field, but he played quarterback, and you saw him running that ball and doing great things as a running quarterback. He was just an athlete, and he played really well in the spring game. He is a tough person. I tell you what, Anthony Hill got in the backfield to tackle him there. He spun out of there. I think turned it up for 3 or 4 yards. Shows you the versatility of him. Reminds you, I'm not going to say he's this player, but when a guy that can catch the ball at the backfield, a guy that can line up a wide receiver, a guy that can also play running back, a Deebo Samuel kind of guy. He's built like a running back, and it's probably going to be his position if he's lucky enough to go to the next level. But I mean, I love his game. I think from seeing him play, you're going to see some Savion Red here this year. Now, one thing about Savion Red and Cedric Baxter, we'll get to him in a minute. Jaden Blue, these guys got to pass, will take a little bit better, but that comes with more reps, right? Especially Savion Red, because he's never really played running back. But the pass protection's got to be there. Kind of makes you leads you to the fact that this is probably Jonathan Brooks' job. But definitely when he has to have some spills come in, you can see a Savion Red come in. You can see a Jaden Blue. You can see a Cedric Baxter. Now, talking about Cedric Baxter, C4, as everybody's calling him right now because he's number 4. He made this one run where he had like an outside zone run, and then he cuts it right back in. I mean, it was masterful. You're gonna start to see the best out of him. He looked a little smaller on field than his high school highlights, but you got to understand that he's actually playing against folks that are, built the same as him now. But I think he's 210, 215 or so, but you can easily see him to 225 or 230 range, but prior to him getting out of here. But he looked pretty good too as well. Strong back. I think he punched it in there on the goal line, when Jaden Blue couldn't punch it in there. But yeah, Baxter's going to be somebody special to watch here. And folks, I think we all understand that the running back position is one of those positions where it's a little bit easier to kind of navigate in and to play early. So I think it's going to have some snaps here this year, but I think we all understand this is going to be the Jonathan Brooks show, barring injury. But having a complement of Jaden Blue and Savion Red and Cedric Baxter, Keelan Robinson. Outstanding running back room, one of the best here in the conference. Next guy I want to talk about, folks, A.D. Mitchell. A.D. Mitchell is as advertised. He had a green jersey on, so no contact, for him, but he is as advertised. Uh, caught a lot of balls. Um, he's going to be a player. He's going to be a player. That wide receiver room, man, is special. Xavier Worthy now having weapons around him with having Jordan Whittington back. We'll get to him also. Having a A.D. Mitchell, having JT Sanders there at the tight end position, Nair hopefully coming back as well. It bodes very, very well for this wide receiver room. Having kind of like Jonte Cook, who we're going to talk about too here in a minute, but A.D. Mitchell being able to be that boundary wide receiver, man, a big-bodied guy that can catch contested balls. That one-handed catch that he had in the back of the end zone from Quinn, oh my God! Like those are the plays that we need here in this team. Outstanding game by A.D. Mitchell. Love this game as well. But folks, let's go ahead and get to my second sponsor. We're kind of almost done here, but the second sponsor, folks, is going to be about Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com, get yourself 20% off and free worldwide shipping using the promo code NinosCorner at manscaped.com. Again, folks, 20% off and free worldwide shipping using the promo code NinosCorner at manscaped.com. All right, let's get back to the recap. A.D. Mitchell, boundary wide receiver, like I said, played very well. All he does is catch touchdowns in national championship games and in playoff games, college football playoffs and bowl games. That's all he does is catch a lot of touchdowns. Very productive receiver. Everybody understands Georgia was very high on A.D. Mitchell. Him coming back being that number one guy, but him being from Mo City, coming back to Texas, and actually playing for the Longhorns here, has some hardware with him. Has himself 2 national championships, man. So comes here, brings that DNA here to Texas, and we saw him play, balled out very well. It's going to be a really special player. I'm going to love seeing if Nair can get back healthy, seeing him in the maturation process of him and Nair. Just exactly how they're going to work together here on the field here for Texas. But he had a hell of a game, guys. Love his game. Next guy I want to talk about, folks, like I said, Jonte Cook. He's going to be a baller. He is every bit of Xavier Worthy, but bigger. He's quick. He has that attitude, that dog in him. You got to love it. And that's how you want your wide receivers. Give me the damn ball. That's what Keyshawn Johnson said, right? He wrote a book about it. Give me the ball, man. So Jonte Cook's going to be a baller. DeAndre Moore, after dropping that sure touchdown, he came back in the I think a few plays after that and caught some balls here from Murphy as well. Jonte Cook's going to be a baller. DeAndre Moore, I didn't realize how sturdy DeAndre Moore is, man. He kind of reminds you of a Jordan Whittington. Kudos to him too as well. Talking about Jordan Whittington, he's going to be your Mr. Steady. He comes back this year, wearing a brand new number. It's number 13, but he's going to be your Mr. Steady. And I think our wide receiver room is going to be really, really, really good. Last people I want to talk about on offense is the offensive line. So I think the offensive line started off with Kelvin Banks Jr. at the left tackle, Neto at the left guard, center, of course, Jake Majors. The right guard was Cam Williams and Christian Jones being at the right tackle. Neto and Cam Williams there at the 2 guard positions was very intriguing. And we've been hearing the reports that they have been cross-training Cam Williams at guard. It was very intriguing because Hayden Conner, who was the starting guard last year, I think the left guard last year, now was on the second team today. So that was kind of interesting to see. Did these 2 guys just pass up Hayden Conner? Or were they trying to see how these guys are going to work in the first team setting? Or they're going to just have some extra protection out there for a Malik Murphy, for an Arch Manning, who we haven't talked about yet, but we will talk about. It was very interesting to see Cam Williams and Neto at the guard position. Both of those guys are dogs when it comes to run blocking. The defense did get the better of the offense, which is pretty common here. You got to understand that defensive line for Texas is going to be special this year. Byron Murphy's, the Alfred Collins, also Sweat, Alfred Broughton. We got to see Big Sadir Mitchell in there, number 99. He's a big dude, man. And I got a picture with him too, me and Fanatic Perspective. Let me see, me, FP, Rojo's brother, he was out there too. We took pictures with Mitchell, man, and it was pretty cool to just to be next to him. He's a big dude, man. He's a big dude. Should be at his high school prom right now. But yeah, he's in spring camp. But guys, that was the offensive side of the ball. Now getting to the defensive side of the ball, what do we like? Anthony Hills, Lord have mercy. He's gonna be a baller, man. He's all over the field, physical, strong. Another kid that should be in high school, physical, strong kid, man. He's gonna play. Um, Manny Muhammad, man, Malik Muhammad. He played. He had a pretty good pass break up there as well. I like his game. Big long cornerback, man. He's gonna be a very good guy. Byron Murphy had a hell of a game too as well. Murph Dog's that dude, man. Byron Murphy is something special. One of the better players here at Texas, but he is something special. He's one of those guys that if he has a hell of a season, you can see him going to the league next year. He's that special. So those are some standouts there. Terrence Brooks had a pretty good game too as well. Worthy got the best of him on a one play, but Worthy does that to people. All right. So but all in all, man, the defense side of the ball looked very crisp, very clean. One thing Texas has to address, we got to get another pass rusher outside of, opposite of Barron Sorrell. Is it going to be Jamon Tapp? Is it going to be Justice Finkley? Who knows? But I think Texas is probably going to go to that portal. Probably start addressing some things there from the pass rushing situation from the side opposite of Sorrell. But we're solid and stacked in the interior. Linebacker with Jalen Ford. Anthony Hill, cornerbacks at Watts, and you got Gavin, you got Terrence Brooks, and then the safeties. One that didn't play was Jaden Catalan. He didn't play, but Thompson was out there as well. But look, I think the Texas defense is going to be shored up a lot this year. They're going to be better this year because the continuity there with PK. But great, great spring game, and the fact that no injuries, absolutely no injuries, is what you want here from a spring game. But I know everybody came here to hear, what do you think about Arch Manning? All right, he's a Manning, Arch Manning. He's a freshman. He looked like a freshman. It's just a guy that hasn't been in the system. You can tell Quinn and Malik have been in the system now for 2 years, and you see they're just light years ahead of him right now. They've been in the system. That's what you expect. Right? This kid's just come out of high school. He came in early. He's an early enrollee. So he should be behind those guys. But I tell you what, the way Malik Murphy played, that QB battle, if Quinn balls out and goes to the lead next year, which is what I think everybody wants to happen and expects, then that QB battle between Malik Murphy and Arch Manning for next year is going to be special. Don't count out Malik Murphy, folks. I'm a big Malik Murphy fan. I told you guys I think he's the most important player here for the 2023 year. I know some of you guys call me crazy by saying that, but that backup's going to have to come win some games. Think about if Hudson Card, when he came in and started, I know we lost the Tech game. That went on him. If Hudson Card didn't play as well as he did, would we have been in the situation that we were last year, right? So I think Malik Murphy's he might have the opportunity. I want to knock on wood and say I hope he doesn't have the opportunity. I hope Quinn is healthy the whole season. But I'll tell you what, Malik Murphy turned some heads there in that practice, and there's a reason why Sark came out and said Quinn is our starter next year. I think it's pretty obvious. He don't want no questions, none of that smoke when it comes to should Malik be getting playing time or not, because everybody who watched that game saw exactly what I saw and what everybody else saw, that he looked like he was probably the most poised in the pocket quarterback and the guy who wasn't afraid to gunsling and had a cannon of an arm and had that moxie. And I tell you, that's one thing, is that attitude as a quarterback. Man, being on campus in 05 and seeing, Vince Young and the other players in the team, the attitude that gravitates people to him. Murphy has that attitude where you're like, I want to go play with that dude, or I want to play for him. He's that guy. So he has that moxie and that attitude. And like I said, I was talking to a guy that played on the 05 team, and he was like, Murphy's that dude, man. I'll play for him. He told me I would play for him. And so, man, he's one of those guys, keep an eye out for that. And if he gets an opportunity, he's one of those guys if he gets an opportunity, he might not give it back. But folks, that's my game recap, man. Spring game 2023. Let me know what you think, man. Leave some comments, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Nino's Corner podcast. Like always, folks, horns always up. Hug 'em.